Interface Video, in cooperation with Fairfield Federal, presents Fairfield Today. Brought to you by Fairfield Federal Savings and Loan, Fairfield Medical Center, Fair Hope Hospice and Palliative Care, the Frankie Smith Funeral Home, Fairfield County Adam H., Dagger Law, and the Fairfield County Board of Developmental Disabilities.
Hello friends, and welcome to Fairfield Today. I'm your host Paul Jasson, and thank you for joining us today. And Lancaster is blessed with so many great music organizations. Last week we talked with Judith Cosgray about the Rise Up Arts Alliance and the drama things we do and the plays we have here in Lancaster and Fairfield County. But we are blessed with many great musical organizations, the Lancaster Chorale, the Lancaster Men's Chorus, the Lancaster Community Chorus, the Lancaster Fairfield County Youth Choir, and many more. I don't want to leave anybody out. But today our purpose will be to talk about the Lancaster Men's Chorus, and really kind of one of the iconic groups, tremendous following around Lancaster and Fairfield County. Is it the president? Are you the president?
I'm on the board, yes.
On the board, okay.
I'm on the board.
Matey, as you can guess, we might be with a pirate theme on this show.
Yeah.
51st year for Ham and Eggs. It's an amazing event, and of course Ohio University Lancaster is just a wonderful place to put this on out there, and it's just a great place and a great play. What's the name of this one? As if we might see
Pirates Plunder, yes. Pirates Plunder.
Pirates Plunder, okay, and it's always, you know, if you know about Ham and Eggs, you know how it works. It's a kind of a two-part thing with the ham up front and then the eggs later, but the Pirates Plunder got to be a fun one to work on.
We'll be setting sail for Buckeye Lake.
I think we'll hear that line somewhere.
It'll be there for sure.
I understand that. It's such a great organization, the Lancaster Men's Chorus. We'll talk about what you do with the funds you raise, because there's a point to all that. But for 51 years, this has been just one of the great organizations. New people coming in all the time. Of course, some people are, not around anymore. We've known that. We'll talk about that if we get a chance a little bit later. But you've got some good young people in there and a lot of good singing coming up. This has to be one of the more fun ones to do, I would think.
Yeah, so it's lots of fun. It's an opportunity for guys that love music to be able to use their musical talents, but then those that just love to be up on in front of stage and just cutting it up, they also get that opportunity.
There are
so
those
it's a fun
guys.
balance.
There are those guys.
Right.
Now, who's your accompanist now?
We are so blessed to have both Perry Norris and Emily Plassman helping us out. They call them musical collaborators, because, as you know, Paul, from rehearsing, those folks put in a ton of time helping the group sound musically good, and then they've got all this work that they do
on their own.
In addition to that.
Oh yeah,
so
we're
really
there's
blessed.
No end to the work that goes in for somebody. And in this group, it's a pianist and it goes in, but it's a wonderful theory behind all this. So it's about what? Just a bunch of pirates going out and then seeking treasure?
Well, there's two different pirate groups, and they're both looking for the same treasure, and trouble ensues.
Ooh,
so
a lot of rivalry going on there, pirate rivalry.
That's right.
Do we have any
barnacles?
Do we have eye patches?
Oh yes, eye patches and different colored eye patches. So that's two rival groups there.
Well,
so,
we can see like a West Side Story thing going on here. I think we can see this. So that's what, May 11th, 12th, and 13th?
Yes, and we're actually really excited this year because we have for some time wanted to have a matinee performance, because we know not all of us like to be out super late at night, myself included sometimes. So we're really excited because that Saturday show is going to be a matinee at 3 p.m.
Nice.
So it'll be an opportunity for folks that aren't as comfortable being out late and driving. They'll be able to come on Saturday for that matinee show. And we really hope that it's a success so that we can keep keep doing that.
So it's Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, 11, 12, 13. That's what it is.
Right.
Do you still do the Wednesday audition kind of thing?
We're doing something a little different with this Wednesday. We wanted to have an opportunity for young people that are maybe interested in the group to come see the dress rehearsal, so that'll be no cost to them for the young folks. It won't be open to the general public, but for young folks, it's an opportunity to come out and get an idea of what the men's chorus is about, and see if they might want to be.
Might be a little late for some of them to be up at night when you do this. Maybe they can't get there for the matinee.
Yes,
so it's at what, 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock?
7:30 p.m. on the Thursday and Friday, and then the matinee at 3 p.m.
3 p.m.
on Saturday.
And all out at Ohio University.
That's right.
In the theater there, which that's been remodeled. I've talked to Victor enough about that. I mean, new sound, and I mean, it's got to be just a treat to go in there and enjoy.
It is. It is a wonderful wonderful spot to perform, and folks can get in and out of there. Lots of parking, which is always, a thing to be considerate of. And so, it's a wonderful space.
So again, it's ham and eggs. It's the 51st year for this with the Lancaster Men's Chorus. We've talked a little bit about the ham part of it. Now, about the eggs part of it, you got. I know you'll have certain songs that are you're blessed to be able to do every year, but you got a bunch of new stuff. I'm sure you're throwing in there.
Yes, my goodness. This year we've got a lot of new pop songs. So there are some medleys from Styx. We've got the Jersey Boys in there. Just lots and lots of great pop music. As you know, those can sometimes be tricky rhythms. People don't appreciate when they listen on the radio how challenging it can be to put some of that
Everything's
pop music
just not
together.
4/4 time.
That's right. That's right. That's for our musical nerd friends out there. That's right. But it's been wonderful, and we're really excited. E.J. Garage, which many folks know of in the community, is back with the chorus this year, and so those pop songs are right in his wheelhouse, and other new guys are enjoying those as well, and so it's been fun.
And who's the director?
Mark Severance.
Who's done it for, a decade now, I guess. He's done it for quite a while. He's had great directors over the years, I think, back of a lot of them, and they've all been good. But Mark, he's the perfect guy for this. Talk about wheelhouse. This kind of things he does, he's got the right personality, the gift for doing that. He's just been a wonderful addition to the Lancaster Men's Chorus. And we mentioned this a little bit earlier. You add people like EJ's back, and you're getting new blood in there, and that's all fun. But kind of the downside to being around 51 years is you lose some people sometime. And I know we lost in last week's show. I talked about, in fact, these gentlemen passed away in the same week. Jim Dobmeyer, talked about with Al Beavers last week, passed away, and Jim was 96, and Dick Benedum, Mr. North End Press. Everybody knows Dick. Another real gentleman, just like Jim Dobmeyer was in that. I can't even imagine how many years.
I don't either, but absolutely always a mainstay for the chorus.
Tickets down there. I mean, he handled everything.
Yeah, what a blessing to, just from a real personal note, to know Dick, and the way that he gave back to the community, I would think really sets the standard. For so many folks.
He just did a great job. And I mentioned about Dick, I got to know Dick pretty well over the years. And the one thing I always thought was so cool, Dick worked at his place of business, at his father's place of business when he was 14. I don't know many guys that probably, and I'm going to guess this about Dick, the only place he ever worked his entire life. Started there at 14, which would have been in the 40s. And worked different locations. They moved around, and then he took it over, and then his sons take it over from him, and still going to work at 93. I mean, as you say, just kind of a role model in a lot of areas, in his personal life and the things he did extracurricular.
Yes, absolutely. And another thing that Dick was really instrumental in for the men's course was our scholarship program. He was many times on the committee for that, and I think was really inspirational to a lot of young people that would be coming in, and he would really play an active role in asking them questions and being engaged with them and wanting to make certain that they were thinking through this process, and then was so helpful in then awarding those scholarships, which is really what our ticket sales and our sponsorships are going to, is scholarships for young people.
We can spend a little time to discuss that every year, and I don't know if you have a certain number you try to have. There's several I know you have every year, and I think about people that I know, Dustin Seifert, who's gone on to be band directors, and their career has been, which is what I think you hope they'll have some kind of musical
we really
abilities.
Hope and try to key in on folks that are really interested in going into music education, because so many of the guys, it's touched our lives in very profound ways, and we want to make sure that there are music educators that are out there that are helping with the next generation. So we do our scholarship awarding after the show, because it kind of gives us a sense of what kind of resources we have to work with. I think we had 5 recipients this last
that's great.
batch.
That's great.
Musical educators. young lady going into musical theater. Several of them staying local with OU or OSU or Capital.
Sure.
And then a few folks also going out of state, and great programs.
And it's nice on the program, they have all these listed for all the previous years, and you see names on there. A lot of them you don't remember, but some of them you even do remember. They've gone on to, well, like I say, Dustin Seifert, some of the other ones that...
Sandy McCoy.
Sure, and come back to be involved right here in this community in music, and doing her great stuff up there with the, Lancaster City Schools and the things she does there. Ham and eggs... what's it called again?
A Pirate's Plunder.
Pirate's Plunder.
That's right.
That's the theory, and so it's about kind of a West Side Story with a pirate background.
That's right.
A lot of R.
That's right, matey.
I can hear that going on, and you've got some of the people that can do that. So has it been fun kind of working that out and putting it all together?
It has been. It's kind of a take on, many years ago, there was also a pirate-related show in one of our first shows, and so newer guys saw that, and they thought, we want to be up there on stage in pirate costumes and with cutlasses on our teeth and all that sort of thing. So it's not the same concept as what they had, but that was what kind of inspired us to revisit the idea of having a bunch of pirates out there performing on stage.
Well, the first half of the show, again, is the ham part, then the singing goes on. But in the first part, too, I feel sorry for some of the folks because they've had to teach you boys how to dance. And I know Becky Clark is involved. Right. She's still doing that.
Yep, we're so fortunate. She's brought some
wonderful.
She's brought some help in. Everybody is so patient. That is the key. So patient. Becky Clark is absolutely one of those. And,
she's a dear.
Yes,
she's a dear.
Absolutely.
But again, just great piano work and great accompaniment, and guys have so much fun. You can tell they really enjoy doing it. So it's May 11 and 12, which is Thursday and Friday. That's at 7:30.
7:30.
And then Saturday, now this year, something different. There's a matinee at
3 p.m.
3 p.m. all out at Ohio University, Lancaster. We know where that is. Tickets can be purchased.
Yeah. We mentioned North End Press, so folks can visit North End Press. Share a story about Dick maybe if you're down there. If you remember him, I'm sure they would appreciate that. So during the week, you can get them there. We have them available online as well if folks find that more convenient, or if they catch a men's chorus guy out in the community, ask him. And we'll have some at the door as well.
Now, is this at the website?
Yep.
And what's the website?
So LancasterMen'sChorus.org. Our Facebook page,
on Facebook.
QR codes, all that sort of stuff.
You getting up with it, getting into the new millennium, getting a QR code.
That's
going
right.
on. Who'd ever thought Dick Bennett would involve in a QR code?
That's right.
I mean, he's a millennial kind of guy.
Yep. He always stayed with the times. I always appreciated that about him.
He did. Yeah. He was willing to try about anything.
Yeah.
He understood change was good.
Yeah.
He didn't get stuck in the past.
Absolutely.
I know that. Well, Lancaster Men's Chorus, it's going to be a wonderful thing. May 11th, 12th, and 13th.
All right, we better see you down there.
There you have it from one of the head pirates. Are you one of the pirates?
Actually, I am. As ridiculous as this sounds, but of course, if you've been with Men's Chorus, it might not. I'm a tax person in the skit, so it'll all come together.
We'll have to see that to believe it. We'll have to see how that works. A tax person in a pirate outfit. That'll be very good. One of the great groups, Lancaster Men's Chorus, tremendous following in the community and well-deserved. And you do several concerts throughout the year, and we'll have you back and we'll talk about all them. But always fun to talk about the Lancaster Men's Chorus. Wes Osborn with us on the board, past head guy, and all kind of PR things he does for us. So thanks, Wes. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Paul. Thanks.
We'll be back in just a moment.
You walked down the aisle and promised happily ever after. Sometimes happily ever after means ending a relationship. We know the conversations are not easy. Deciding what's best for you, your children, and your next steps takes work and communication. At Dagger Law, we know there are no monsters in a divorce, only people trying to find their way. Local, trusted, experienced. Dagger Law.
The staff that have been here know what it takes. They've been on the other side. They see what it takes to make someone comfortable, to make the family comfortable, and really what kind of support they need. And so I think that's what really makes Fairfield what it is.
You quit smoking and thought, that's that. Here's the thing about lung cancer. By the time you see the symptoms, it could be too late. But now, there's a new scan that can detect lung cancer early when it's more curable. If you smoked, get scanned. Talk to your doctor or learn more at savedbythescan.org.
My name is Allie. I just became 14 years sober at the end of last month. Through the support of my family and friends, I got the courage to ask for help. And through treatment services and the recovery community, I was able to start my recovery journey. Now I get to work as a peer supporter and an addiction treatment navigator, where I get to help the next sick and suffering. If you don't have family and friends that can support you right now, you can find those supports through treatment providers, the recovery community, and peer supporters like me. Every life matters, and your recovery is worth it.
This message is brought to you by the Fairfield County Adam H. Board.
The Frankie Smith Funeral Home and Crematory in Lancaster and the Johnson Smith Funeral Home in Baltimore have a long and wonderful history of serving our community. Feel free to give us a call at 740-653-0652. Stop in and see us at either of our two locations, 405 North Columbus Street in Lancaster and 207 South Main Street in Baltimore. Respect for tradition, regard for change.
Welcome back to Fairfield Today. Paul Jasson with you, and as we just talked to Wes Osborn about the kind of iconic ham and eggs event that's coming up here very soon, another one of the great events in town from the business community perspective is the Chamber of Commerce and their annual trade show and fair and everything that goes on in once a year moment that they have out there, and that's coming up very soon. We've got the president of the Lancaster Fairfield Chamber of Commerce, Travis Markwood.
Yeah.
Getting to be a fun time.
It is. It's a busy time.
Couple
Paul,
weeks here. Couple weeks. You got this coming on. This will be what, 14 for you?
This is the 14th annual dinner and trade show that I've.
You must have just been a baby when you started.
Well,
this.
the pictures. I look a little different back in that day on those pictures.
Couldn't even shave, and now
Probably,
you have a little gray in your beard.
Right,
there.
That's right. Yeah.
This is really turned into, as far as the business community goes, this is a major event.
Yeah, it's our signature event, of course, and
Sure.
I think it's been going on for long enough that it's a highlight in the community, I believe.
I think so.
It's a great opportunity to recognize some wonderful companies and wonderful people and some great things that people are doing.
And over the years, you always, of course, one of the highlights is the one you have a trade show beforehand. The things that go on, the business community really turns out for this. There's it's just a fun time. So many businesses out there, and you get a chance to showcase your business if you're a member of the chamber and have it out there. But then the awards banquet has turned out to be a kind of a go-to moment for the business community. It's really fun to see. Over the years, when you think back on how it's gone, some of the wonderful businesses and people, some no longer with us, unfortunately. You know, the Floyd Wolf Award, some people that were just legendary in this community, and that's always a fun time.
It is. It's fun to see the nominations come in. It's never an easy process. I think we've streamlined it and made it as absolutely fair as we possibly can when it comes to scoring these nominations. But there's always a lot of really good nominees, and you wish you could just select them all every year.
Yeah.
But we've got some good ones coming up this year that we're really excited to recognize.
Well, it's always a fun time. It's coming up here in just a few days, Thursday night, May 11th, out at Fisher Catholic High School. That's where it's kind of come to rest for quite a few years now out there, and it's a great location out there. You have a nice area to do that in, nice place for the trade show to go on, and a nice gym out there, and you think about what goes on there. You guys must plan for this for a long time, because it always comes off just pretty seamlessly. You can tell a lot of planning has gone in.
Yeah, that's what we hope for those who attend. It looks seamless. Now there are always a little glitch here and there,
well, you're going to have that.
But in event planning, they always say as long as your guests and your audience don't see the glitch, then it didn't happen, right?
Yeah, that's right.
No, we have a great team of people, including our friends and partners at Interface Video that help us produce this event each year, and they do a fantastic job. And over the years we've kind of got a model down, and we feel like we have it figured out pretty well.
Yeah.
I've got a great team of folks working in my office that really make things like this a lot easier than they could be.
Well, it's again, I think you've done it long enough now that you know kind of the ins and outs, where you want to forge ahead, where you maybe want to pull back a little bit. What do you have, 4 or 5 awards that night?
Yeah, we have quite a few. Of course, our Large and Small Business of the Year awards. We added last year for the first time, so this will be the second year, our Nonprofit of the Year award. We've got the Tammy Newser Customer Service Award, of course, the Floyd Wolf Award, the Brett Markwood Award, and the Young Professionals Award. And let's see, the final one is the Chairman's Award, which is an award that our chairman of the board just chooses based on their friendships, partnerships in the community.
And again, it's turned into just quite an evening. I think it's kind of the who's who in the business community, because if anybody is involved in business, or even at many different levels, they don't have to be the president, can be certainly the staff and everybody there. It's a large turnout because it's a dinner. It's a wonderful time. Reservations can still, better get them in quick.
Yep.
But reservation can still be had. Where can you do that?
You can do that on our website. You can go out to lancoc.org. And you'll find our events scrolling to the top left. You can click on that or click on the events tab, and you'll find it in the calendar there on May 11th. Click there and you can register. It's pretty simple.
It's a good website, lancoc.org.
That's correct.
So we talk about the big dinner and trade show and everything coming up here on Thursday, May 11th. What time does that get underway?
We're going to start the trade show at 4:30.
Okay.
And then we'll move into the other gymnasium at 6:30 for dinner and the awards program.
Okay.
So the first couple hours is just really kind of a reception networking event. We'll have about 100 vendors there.
100.
That's about our capacity, but that's typically what we have, and it's a great opportunity to learn about some of the local businesses and really just catch up with people you maybe haven't seen in a while.
And again, this is everybody's there at kind of under one roof, and everybody doesn't always get to see everybody at every event. But here, pretty much, your whole organization is there.
Yeah. We over the 3 or 4 hours of this event, with the trade show and those who stay for dinner, we estimate that we're somewhere around 500-600 people at this event.
Nice. And as we talk about the Chamber of Commerce, of course, this is your signature event. Everybody knows about this. But throughout the course of a year, your job, your chamber's job, is really to nurture and bring along businesses, try to entice them to come here. And then when they're here, how can you help them be successful in a lot of different ways, from human resources to media campaigns, to just really the whole environment that is a business, from a startup, maybe a small business or a big business that's coming to town. Your job is to try to help them get involved in the community.
Sure, it is. We really call it business advocacy, and most of everything that we do falls under kind of an advocacy role for our businesses. And we play a little bit different role depending on the type of business you are, how big you are, how small you are. But we really try to provide a programming that there's a little bit for everyone there. Training for small businesses, as you mentioned. We have our Small Business University. We have networking events for small businesses. We try to provide marketing opportunities, not only in our own newsletters and things, but we will take out ads in a lot of the different directories and guides in town, trying to refer our chamber members to people who are looking for a plumber or a carpenter or whoever it may be that they're looking for. So, we also do a lot of work when it comes to advocacy. We take take time to educate ourselves through our Legislative Action Committee, which meets on a regular basis, and we look at local, state, federal regulations, laws that are coming down the way, and we try to determine if those are friendly to business or not. And we will take a stance either way and work with our representatives at the state level or at the federal level, and voice our opinion.
Talking about the Chamber of Commerce, Lancaster Fairfield County Chamber of Commerce, Travis Markwood, who is the president of the chamber, and you were talking a little bit about kind of the government aspect. I know Tim Schaefer, he's a local guy that's always involved in business, and I know he comes to this event, he and his wife Lori are there, but that's somebody I think that you can go to if something in the state needs to be talked about from a business aspect. He's a good advocate for you to have.
He is. We have a good working relationship with Tim and have for a long time, and it's great to have those relationships at the state level because when our businesses are telling us that there's a pinch point or some red tape, and we can pick up the phone and call Tim and really any of our representatives that we've created relationships with and try to figure out how we might get some things done.
Well, it's good to have people like him, especially he's a local boy. He's from here. He's grown up in this environment. He understands us around here. We look back the last couple years. How has that been from the chamber's aspect? With all that's gone on with COVID now, pretty much, I can say we're 100% past that right now. We hope we don't have to see that again. But probably there were moments it was difficult.
Yeah, it was. That was difficult. I would say most of our businesses are back to normal.
Yeah.
We all read about weird supply chain issues that are still happening. There's of course a lot going on with the economy right now, and it's affecting our chamber members in different ways. But it's sometimes good to get out and talk to those chamber members and understand what they need and what they're struggling with. But everybody's as far as the membership goes, they're doing pretty well. I mean, despite there being economic challenges and supply chain challenges, people are still investing. They're still building. There's a lot of economic development going on. You can see if you go drive around town, some of these large construction sites that we have up and running. It's pretty impressive that the way that the way that people are still investing.
And something we were just talking, I think I had the mayor on a couple of weeks ago. We were talking about things going on, and one of the things he talked about that I hadn't really thought much of was Intel. Mm-hmm. Intel's not here. It's in, I think, Licking County, but it's over there, and it's there. But the ancillary things that grow up around something like that, I remember seeing something when they were talking about going there. They showed out in Arizona and how much that community that it's in has absolutely thrived. Mm-hmm. Intel obviously will do that, but then he talked about other areas, people that provide things for Intel. Mm-hmm. Some of those could very well come here. So I mean, the business community, this could be a real boon for Lancaster and Fairfield County.
It could, with our proximity to that project, I think that anywhere from our own local contractors to possibly other folks in the Intel supply chain moving here. One of the things that the county's really working hard at, and Rick Zabrak and that crew, is a land use plan for the county. Mm-hmm. We have to prepare for development happening in our county, and I think in order to prepare correctly, you got to be smart and you got to think through it. And I think they're doing a really good job of doing that now. They've held some public hearings or events to get the public's feedback, and they're working hard to prepare for what's coming.
I remember years ago when everything started moving kind of out of Franklin County down to, in our case, Fairfield, and Pickerington just went insane in the 70s maybe. And you just have to be, I guess, ready for that. And I think that's what you're saying is that, somebody's forward thinking. They're thinking, some things you don't want to have happen.
Yeah. Well, it's something, let's face it, sometimes it's hard to see some of our green space, developed.
Absolutely.
We do enjoy in Fairfield County some beautiful topography and farmland, and we just have to be smart about how we're planning for the development that's coming. Housing's a big conversation right now in our community because we need more of it to support
that's what the mayor said, and I was a little shocked by that. He says we just don't have enough.
No, and we're not the only community dealing with it, but we need more housing to support the workforce that's going to be here.
Well, the business the last, I guess, decade, I think, has just gone wild down here. I mean, it's other than the COVID times. I mean, you can tell business is really thriving down here. It's a wonderful community. The downtown, I've never seen it since I was a kid that it's looked like this. When Anchor would let out at noon, it would be wild. But now every night down here, there's something going on. It's just a great environment.
Yeah, we're fortunate. There's been some really neat development happening. There's been some recent announcements about some more development that's going to happen with some of our buildings that are close to and adjacent to the main street. It's a great time right now for downtown and really Lancaster as a whole. And the thing I'm always impressed about, though, we talk about this, is just some of our existing businesses that continue to support the community. We have a very generous business community, and they support a lot of initiatives in this town, and it's always impressive to see. And we get to read about some of this when we're talking about these awards that we're going to give out here next week. But it always impresses me the amount of generosity that our business owners have.
Well, for people like you and me growing up around here, it's fun to see this.
Yeah,
right.
It is.
Lancaster Fairfield County Chamber of Commerce, lancoc.org is the website. Thursday, May 11th is the event out there. It's going to be a who's who in business around here. I hope it'll be another just a knockout performance.
We ordered the weather clear at the beginning of the year, so it should be there right on time.
You've heard it from the master's mouth, Travis Markwood, with the president of the Lancaster Fairfield County Chamber of Commerce. Thank you. We'll look forward to that.
Thanks, Paul. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks for joining us in Fairfield Today.
Interface Video, in cooperation with Fairfield Federal, presents Fairfield Today. Brought to you by Fairfield Federal Savings and Loan, Fairfield Medical Center, Fair Hope Hospice and Palliative Care, the Frankie Smith Funeral Home, Fairfield County Adam H., Dagger Law, and the Fairfield County Board of Developmental Disabilities.